Hey, greetings everyone. Glenn Kellaway from the basement, back for my second installment on my countdown to 1,000 videos, my favorite 100 albums in my collection. I was planning on doing 10 consecutive videos, 10 albums a day leading up to 1,000, but things got in the way. There's other videos I need to do in the meantime, but I will get 100 albums shown by my 1,000th video. This is video number 993, I think. So I'm going to start showing a bit more than 10 at a time. I'm going to do 15 today. At random, I decided not to rank them. I started in the last video kind of going, oh, I think this was number 62. I'm not doing that. Unless something really jumps out at me that I say, this is the one. Before I get started, live chat tomorrow on this channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, with my good friend Alex from Beer and Vinyl. If you're not subscribed to Alex's channel, please go check him out. And we are going to be talking jazz. Theme is going to be our 10 desert islands in the jazz genres. Desert Island Records. 10 jazz albums. Interesting. Okay. Number 1, the Kinks, one of the great bands from the British Invasion. This is my favorite Kinks album. I was going to pick Somewhere Else because I really like that, but mostly because Waterloo Sunset's on that album, which is one of my top 5 favorite songs of all time. But this album, Power Man, Lola versus Power Man and the Money Go Round, is an awesome album. Start to finish, it's great. I really love the opening track a lot. It is the Contenders. It's pretty cool. Strangers. Just trying to see what's on here that's any really big hit. Besides, really, it's not a big hits album, but man, it's just a strong album from start to finish. Kinks did some great stuff. And it is Dave Davies' birthday today, I believe. Okay, next, my favorite Canadian band from Toronto. They were an indie band, did it their way, turned down record label deals, and still came out with one of the top 100 greatest albums of all time ever released in Canada, Lowest of the Low. And my buddy Lawrence Nichols is in this band, and he celebrated his birthday yesterday. So if you happen to be watching this, Lawrence, happy birthday. Lowest of the Low. I just love these guys. Ron Hawkins is the chief, kind of the leader, songwriter, singer, and the guy is a great songwriter. His lyrics are fantastic. And this album is really upbeat. It's long. I think that's about the only thing. When people don't like it, I think they kind of get, when you're not a fan of the band or you haven't seen them live, which they're a great live band, you might kind of after a while go, I gotta take it off. But I'm telling you, this is great. If you just want to check out a couple of songs from Lowest of the Low, Rosie and Gray, Subversives, which is one of the great love songs of all time, and a song called Bleed a Little While Tonight. If you would check out those songs for me and tell me this isn't a great band. Lowest of the Low from Toronto, Ontario. If you're in the Buffalo area and you watch this, they have a huge following in Buffalo, and they pretty much own the city. And if you're in that area, check them out, or you might be familiar with them. Yes is my second favorite band. From a band that, when they came out, I didn't like at all, to become my second favorite band of all time is just unbelievable. Just a tribute to the fact that you should always keep your ears open when it comes to music. And the Yes album, fantastic. This is the album that finally the light bulb went off. I decided to give this another chance at some point and it struck me just like lightning. And just a huge fan. These are the reissues that came out, hardcover with the vinyl record and 4 discs. Fantastic reissues. They reissued this first. They did Fragile, which came out last year, and coming out March 7th, in Canada at least, that's the release date, is Close to the Edge, which I am just dying to get my hands on. These are so well done, but this album is just fantastic. This album, it's the perfect record. There's not many perfect records. This has a mood to it. The recording process, the musicians just all work together just to make a beautiful, beautiful record. Van Morrison's Astro Weeks, one of the greatest albums of all time. I still vividly remember grabbing this album after listening to Brown Eyed Girl and the album Blowing Your Mind, which had like these bluesy kind of organ-based songs like He Ain't Give You None and TB Sheets. And then you buy this album thinking you're going to get the same kind of a thing, and you end up with this gorgeous song, gorgeous album with Madame George on it. Again, one of my favorite top 10 songs of all time. Van Morrison, Astro Weeks. I think this is just a friggin' masterpiece of an album. Next, Bob Can Still Do It. Bob Dylan, the GOAT. Rough and Rowdy Ways, which came out, about 4 years ago now or something. This album just did it for me. I don't know what it is. A lot of people just go, yeah, it's okay. They don't like it as much as I do, but I frickin' love this album. I never have stopped playing it from the minute it came out. And it is, I listened to it this morning. And it's just, I don't know what it is, man. Bob made a great record as far as I'm concerned. It would be definitely in the top 10 Bob Dylan albums for me. Maybe as high as like 6th or 7th. Fantastic. Rough and Rowdy Ways. Bob Dylan, still rocking at 82 or, oh man. My favorite band, Grateful Dead, and my favorite Grateful Dead studio album, American Beauty. This has my favorite song in the whole world on it called Ripple. And also would have Box of Rain, Friend of the Devil, Sugar Magnolia, Broke Down Palace, Truckin'. I mean, this is the Dead's equivalent to CCR's Cosmos Factory. It's just a brilliant frickin' record full of great songs. And it came out 1970, I think. Around the same time they released Working Man's Dead. Both have the same kind of feel to it. A little more acoustic, less psychedelic. They were hanging around a lot with Stephen Stills and David Crosby, and learning those Crosby, Stills, Nash harmonies, and just a brilliant record. Grateful Dead, American Beauty, fantastic. The Who. People pick Who's next. I didn't put it in my top 100. Shoot me. Quadrophenia is my Who album. This is it. I love this album from start to finish. This is an album you need to listen to start to finish. Who's Next? You can put on Bubba O'Reilly and get up and turn it off and everything's fine. You can't do that with this album. Side 1, Side 2, Side 3, Side 4, Rain O'er Me, 12:15, or 5:15, and oh man, just so many great tracks. I just frickin' love that. Pete Townsend was a frickin' genius at those concept albums. The Police. Love Sting as a solo artist. I liked The Police, some of their songs. I would have just bought, back in the day when they were around, I probably would have bought a Hits album. That's probably as much as I liked them, just to hear a couple of songs. Somewhere along the line, I just frickin', again, like with Yes, it clicked with me, and I listened to a Police album. I went, these guys are frickin' awesome. And I picked Senora Mandata as my Police album. I could have picked all 5 of their studio albums. They were all great. One of my viewers had sent me a box set of all the Police stuff, and it's just one of my favorite box sets. But this has Don't Stand So Close to Me on it. Driven to Tears, which I love. When the World is Running Round. I love that song too. You Make the Best of What's Still Around. Canary in a Coal Mine. Voices Inside My Head. I freaking love that. This is just a great record. The do 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 da 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 da. Wow, love it. Great stuff. What's next? The amazing Arthur Browne. This is the top 10 album. I'm going to tell you that. Arthur Browne, Galactic Zoo Dossier, Arthur Browne's band, Kingdom Come. Brilliant, brilliant record. It might take a couple of lessons to get into it. This is actually autographed by Arthur, which I'm very proud of. It came on a splattered vinyl. And if you want to check a song out on this, check out Sunrise. It's got one of the greatest lead guitar solos in the history of recorded music. Brilliant record from Arthur Browne. Brilliant. The Rolling Stones. I finally came to a conclusion, because I always say Exile on Main Street's my favorite album, and as soon as I say that, I always immediately say, yeah, but what about Beggar's Banquet? They're tied. Beggar's Banquet, I just freaking love this album. I mean, it is so cool. Starts off with Sympathy for the Devil, and then really gets into some acoustic, real cool acoustic stuff, like No Expectations and Jigsaw Puzzle, Prodigal Son, Factory Girl, Salt of the Earth, Street Fighting Man starts off side 2. It doesn't get better than this. Great album. Another top 10 album for me. I've loved this album from the first time it came out. It's kind of like a concept album, but it kind of isn't. It comes across as a concept album, but you could never figure what the concept was, because the songs kind of all flow together. The whole album has a feel to it. It's very psychedelic. The cover's very psychedelic, and it's The 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus by Spirit. I frickin' love this record. It is fantastic. I think I'm going to play it this afternoon. How's that? Just a great album. Animal Zoo, Nature's Way. It's just, oh man, brilliance. Sly and the Family Stone. One of the great bands of all time. Sly. Larry Graves mentioned them as a favorite. We got asked on a live chat yesterday, favorite soul and R&B artist, and Larry said Sly and Stone. Is he an R&B or a soul artist? I say no. I say funk, right? Funk or psych rock? Am I right? Please put it in your comments what you think. But my favorite Sly and the Family Stone album is Stand. It's just got some great, great classic Sly songs on it. I Want to Take You Higher, Sing a Simple Song. You Can Make It If You Try, Everyday People, and the great instrumental track Sex Machine, which is like 10 minutes of just pure frickin' amazing music. Next, another top 10 album. Fell in love with these guys really through Larry Graves giving me The Black Sea at an album exchange about 3 years ago, I guess, probably, and they became, it was an obsession for me for a long time, but English Settlement, XTC, again, top 10 album. Someone teased me, said I've got 136 albums in my top 10, but I don't really. This is an amazing record. I love it. XTC, Andrew Partridge, just the frickin' coolest dude. And just a brilliant, brilliant songwriter. Very creative. Jackson Browne. Jackson Browne is just one of the best lyricists ever. Top 5 lyricists of all time. He just writes such beautiful songs. And his first few albums are just fantastic. And For Every Man is my favorite. This was his second album. David Lindley's playing on this. It's a very acoustic album, and the songs all flow together. David Lindley's got these beautiful leads that just intertwine through the whole album. That's just fantastic. If you've never heard this album, give it a try. For Every Man, Jackson Browne. And then the 15th album I'm going to show today is a blues album. Paul Butterfield Blues Band, one of the great bands of all time. East West, Mike Bloomfield's masterpiece song, where he melds blues and Eastern music together and comes up with this beautiful instrumental. But this album has Mary Mary on it, which the Monkees did as well. Two Trains Running is a great, great track. Walkin' Blues, Get Out of My Life Woman, Got My Mojo to give up living, or got my mind to give up living. Fantastic record from Paul Butterfield, one of the great bands, very influential band. With the Dylan movie and everything, a lot of those guys are kind of featured as characters in the movie because they backed Bob up at Newport when he went electric. And that's it for today. That is my 20. I know I've done 25 of my favorite records. If you didn't watch part 1, please watch it. Part 3 will be coming up. Again, live chat tomorrow, 8 p.m. Tuesday night. Please join us, please. And thanks so much for supporting me, and we'll talk soon.